Oh, yeah. Right, so thank you for getting on, guys. I just really wanted to run past with you. Just a minute, I'm just whipping through and muting some people. Yeah, I just have been asked fairly recently. Can you turn that down, Matt? I just been asked recently, guys, with regard to tax and that sort of thing, social benefits and different things. And I just want to run past with you because I've spoken to a couple of people just recently and a few little tips that I want to pass on to yourself. Well, the first thing I really want to explain is I'm not a professional. You know, I'm just going to explain to you about the situation that I've done and that I advise people. But, you know, don't take what I'm saying as absolute gospel. I want you to just, you know, realise that I'm not a professional in it, and it's just as long as everyone realises that. But it really is a lot more simple than what we all realise. It's not as difficult as it all seems. So if I start off by just explaining to those that are in work, if you're currently in work and you're taking on Juice Plus as another income, another form of income, then all of that income would be taxed because you're using your tax allowance in your full-time or your part-time work. You would know what your tax code is. You would know what the situation is with regard to that. In 2015-16, the tax was 10,500. So you could earn 10,500 before you were taxed on anything. And in 2016-17, it's actually 11,000. So they're giving us a little bit more. So what that means is if you're working full-time, your full tax allowance would be used in your full-time work, which means any money that you make in Juice Plus or any other line at all, it's all taxable. And that's what frightens everyone and scares everyone off. But really, it isn't as bad as all of that. Don't worry. And I'm going to try and explain. So let's say that you've started the business and in your first month you've earned £100. I'm going to try and keep it simple figures so you can get a gist of what I'm talking about. So you've earned £100, but you've paid £50 to join. So therefore you're £50 in profit. Okay, because you've spent £50, you've earned £100, so you're £50 in profit. Okay, but you've got your phone that you're running, so your phone bill, your current phone bill, would be an offset expense. So let's say your phone bill is £20. Okay, so you've got your £100 in, your £50 for joining up, and your £20 for your phone. And then let's say you've got £20. Let's say we've got £20 for internet. Let's say. So therefore, you're currently at the moment £10 in profit. And let's say that you've bought some stationery and some books because you're going to do your DMO. You've bought your whiteboard. They're all offset against tax. So let's, for argument's sake, say that you've had, that comes to 50 quid. So you've got £50 for your join-up fee, you've got £20 for your internet, £20 for your phone, and you've got £10 for some stationery. So although you've had £100 land into your bank account, you haven't made a profit. You've used that money up and used it elsewhere. So if you're working, if you're on the social, if you're working full time, you've had £100 come in, but you've had £100 go out, which is offset against your tax. Does everyone follow that? Does that sound all right to you guys? So that's really what it is. So therefore, if you're on the social, and you've got tax credits, and you've kept what it's called a profit and loss account, basically, what I've just described to you. So therefore, what you've got is you've got your profit and loss account, but you haven't made anything. So you've got nothing to declare. So it's not fraud. It's not illegal what you're doing. If you're on the social and they say to you, hello Jeanette, how much have you made in Juice Plus today? You're on the social, you've got housing benefit or whatever else you've got, tax credits, disability allowance, I don't know, whatever it might be. You're receiving that and they'll say, how much have you earned? And you'll honestly say you haven't earned anything because of the expenses that you've got offset against your profit. And really, it is absolutely as simple as that. There's lots of things that you can offset against tax. Let's say you bought a laptop. Let's say you bought, like I bought my office table I've got here. I bought my office chair. I've bought my laptop. Maybe you've bought a new phone. Anything that you use for your business that is equipment for your business is offset against tax. Okay, so let's say then that you bought some books, you've bought GoPro, you go to events, you went to Liverpool, the John Holowati event at Liverpool, you're going to go to Birmingham. Those tickets are offset against tax. So is the hotel offset against tax. Let's say you post out some samples to customers, potentials. The postage is all included. It's going to be offset against tax. Like I've said, books. Let's say you've decided to do a breakfast trial and you've bought a box of shakes. That's offset against tax. What else have I got on my list? Team incentives. Now that's a really good one. You know, you can, whatever you're using for your team incentives, that's all offset against tax. Now, meals, when you're going out to restaurants, the tax man doesn't like those. He's not very impressed with those because we can lose too much doing that. So I think as a rule, they say that they don't like to use that. But I believe that if you have photographs, you've got documentation of it or whatever, and I think you don't take the mickey and do it every week, I think you can put some through, be sensible and put some through. Now, for example, I'll buy a load of milk at the supermarket and I'll keep it in my cupboard. I'm talking about the non-dairy milk. I'll keep it in my cupboard and I'll have people will come round and I'll either do a one-to-one or potentials will come round. So they'll be having the samples. So the milk is all offset against tax as well. Just a minute, just got to try and mute some people. Oh, that's beat me to it. So can you see where we're going with this? That everything is, as much as you can, is offset against tax. Now, rightly or wrongly, I also have team events around at my house, and you could do the same. And guess what? I cook them a meal. And when I go through the supermarket, I have my shopping for my house that I have first, and then I put in a pile that goes through second. I'll have the ingredients that I'll need to make, let's say, spaghetti bolognese, and maybe some dessert afterwards. And I'll put all that, and I will put that through my business. Now, you know, how often you have team events is it's up to you. You could have team events every night. So you can see what I'm getting at there. What else do I put through? If you're going off to Marbs, the Marbs event, obviously that's all tax deductible, and so is the flights. So absolutely anything that you feel you can use for your business can be our business expense. All right, so after you've got all your income for that month, and obviously we get one paycheck a month from Juice Plus, you then would have a list on another piece of paper that you spent out £3 parking, that you spent some petrol out, you did lots of things like that. Can you see how you're going to use up your money, basically, or offset that against tax? And at the bottom, you'll have that all added up. You'll have your receipts in a heap. You'll have them all added up at the bottom, and whatever you've got coming out of your money is then deducted from the money that you had coming in. And what's left over is your profit. So let's say you had £500 come in and you had £250 go out. That month you earned £250. All right, well, now that maybe the next month you had £500 come in and you decided to spend £700 on your laptop, because you had £500 come in, you had £250 from the month before. So therefore, you're still not made any money. Can you see how this is? And I've had friends of mine in another network marketing company that declared every penny that she had dropped into her bank account and didn't realise that she could use some of it as expenses. It wasn't being fraud. She thought that she was being fraudulent by doing that, but that's what you do when you're self-employed. You have offset your expenses against it. So if you're allowed to earn 11,000, and let's say now that you're the person that isn't working, you've got no other income, and you're just working and doing Juice Plus, so you're allowed to earn 11,000 that year after all your expenses are taken off. And that works out to £916 a month that you're allowed to earn. So if you had £2,000 come in and you had £1,000 of expenses that month, then you would be able to earn £916, and the difference, which I think is about £84, you'd be taxed on. So if you can get the gist of what I'm talking about, that's how that works out. If you're running a car, the best thing to do is have a little notebook in your car, and every time you go somewhere to do with the business, you write the mileage down. And if you can prove that you use your car predominantly for your business, then the percentage of usage that you use your car for is the percentage that they'll let you use for your tax and your insurance as well, and your running costs. So let's say you're going out to every day you're meeting up with a one-to-one person, maybe. So therefore you're jumping in the car and you'll sit in the car, so you write the mileage down and you'll write where you're going to and who you're seeing and the date. And when you finish that journey and come back that evening, you'll write the end figure of the mileage. And so therefore you'll know that you've travelled 50 miles, let's say. And I think you're allowed, I think it's 40 pence a mile. But basically over the period of the month or the year, they will look at how much you used your car to go to these places to do with your business, and how much was it to go shopping, take the dog for a walk, or other things that aren't to do with it. And the percentage of that, they will work out your tax and insurance of it as well. So that's worth bearing in mind. So I don't know if anyone's got any questions at all, or whether you can sort of understand or keep up with me as far as all this is concerned. It does sound a bit worrying. You do need to get to, if you type in Google and you say register self-employed, Even though you're working, it's great to be able to you need to be registering that you're self-employed as well. And it's quite normal for you not to be in profit for it's quite normal for you not to be in profit for at least 2 or 3 years. So, you know, if that's the way to go forwards, really, you know, you need to declare that you're self-employed, even if you're employed. And we need to give the confidence to these people that we're talking to, because there's lots of people we talk to and they'll say, oh, no, I don't want to give up my tax credits, or I don't want to risk losing this or losing that. But they won't temporarily, they won't at the beginning. And if they earn so much money, then they'll be pleased to be off the social, as far as I can see anyway. So a year in the tax office runs from April through to March. So we're now coming up to the end of 2016. Sorry, yeah, 15-16 was last year. So we're running from, let me get that right. Let me actually explain that and get that right. We're running now from April 2016 to March 2017. That's 1 year. So that's how the year always works for the tax office. So if you haven't declared, I would suggest that maybe at the beginning of April that you just register that you're self-employed, and all you need to do is keep all your receipts for what you've been spending out on. And like I say, you can put some things through, like I've explained, some food for some meals that you've cooked in your house. Let's say that you've decided that you're going to cook loads of brownies and you're going to try lots of different recipes. Well, you've had to buy those because you're doing them for your business. Okay, so you've bought the ingredients for the brownies and the ingredients for the flapjacks or whatever else, because you're going to show these lovely things on Facebook, and you're going to be going to an event maybe that Thursday or whenever, and maybe you'll take those with you and you'll use them as samples. So that's, you know, how that works. I'm just going to read some of these messages so that I can see what. Yes, this is being recorded, Holly. No, you just need to be DD to get to you just need to, you're in business basically. You need to register as self-employed straight away. Some people don't straight away. That's totally up to you, basically. You know, you either can, that's your worry, not mine. That's what I'm trying to say. That's entirely up to you. You could not do it if you want, or you can, but I would suggest that you do. I was self-employed before I started this, and I had a childminder business, a horse business, and then I did Juice Plus. So I had 3 businesses to run, and so that's and I was allowed to earn 10,600 after all my expenses, either in one business or split between the 3. So it depends what you're doing. So if you're in employment and you're earning more than 10,600 a year, then you'll be using your tax allowance in that, and that you will have no tax allowance in your Juice Plus work. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. I know it is really difficult sometimes. Let me just have a look. Yeah, you could. That's right. Yeah, you claim the tax things, but basically what you're doing is you're saying I've had this much in, I've spent this much out, and what the difference is. All the time is what you're doing. Okay. Let me just carry on reading. Oh yeah, okay, so Ashley's saying how can she register? You, like I say, you need to go onto Google and you need to type in register self-employed. I would suggest you probably all start to get good at it, or whatever, practice at it and get going, so that by April you can get registered as self-employed. What that will mean is you'll get given a code and a login details to be able to go on to the Gateway HMRC. That all again sounds complicated, but it really, really isn't. And then you would then trade all through the year, and come next year, which would be March 2018, you would then need to tell the tax office what you'd earned over the last year. All right, so although you register in April 2017, you wouldn't show the tax man anything until March 2018, and you have until January 2019 to get it logged. So you have plenty of time. The last January just now, last week, I did my tax return for 2015-16. So that was the limit. That was the time I had to have it done by. So if you register this April, you don't have to start telling them until the following April, and then it's the January after that it needs to be declared. So you have plenty of time. And your tax is worked out over the whole year. Now, I believe if you're on the social, I think they need to know on a more regular basis, because you're getting income from the social. So I think what you would do is at the end of April, you would look at your profit and loss, and then you would tell the social what you're doing as to what your profit or loss is, and they'll adjust it accordingly. But to be honest, with the amount of things that people are earning, you know, I'm going to be honest here, I haven't hardly paid any tax yet. Okay, so really there isn't much to be paying if you're clever with what you're using and offsetting things. Okay, it's not about being illegal, it's not about being a fraud. You know, there's bigger fish to catch in the sea than what we can offer. But, you know, it's just about keeping a profit and loss account. So you want a book, and you want 2 pages, 1 page showing what you've had in and 1 page showing what you've had out. So I think that's pretty much sums it up, really. I'm just going to try and see if I've got any more questions on here. And the issues that they have let me think. No, you don't have to wait until April to register. You could register now, but if you register now, then you'd have to put you've got to remember that you're in this year then, because the new year starts in April. So you'd be registering. If you register now, you'd have February and March as accounts to do. So you just might as well wait until February, to be honest, till April, to be honest. And register, or you could register now and tell them you're going to start trading as of April. That would be a better thing to do, maybe. That would be what I would suggest. So yeah, that's right. Claim. You just need to. Everyone else does claim as much as you can. Absolutely. You know, there's all sorts of things to do. As they get really up the tree, some of these people, they have a personal assistant. They have a PA. Oh, they keep going on holidays. They keep going everywhere. You know, why do you think John Holowati keeps travelling like he does? He's got to loosen tax, hasn't he? You know, it's all business, and that's what he does. And I'm going to be doing the same. So yeah, that does work, because he's growing his business as he goes, and he's spending some money as well, and he's having a whale of a time. So that's what we're all going to do. So just see if there's any more questions. Yeah, postage and stationery, that's a good one. Yeah, well, that's right. That's fine. You would expect to have a loss. You'd expect to have a loss in most businesses for a number of months. You know, so just keep doing that. So have we got many, oh, so look, Lindsay's an accountant even, so she knows, right? So I'm talking the right sort of stuff, aren't I, Lindsay? Yeah, that's right. So it's all about that. And I'm no professional, and look, Lindsay's just backed us up, look, you see, so that makes me feel better. Now, the other thing, as far as I was aware, you can have an accountant, and their fees are offset against tax. That's another expense as well. Or you can do it yourself. That's absolutely fine. You can do it yourself. If you have an accountant will often say to you, no, I'm sorry, I can't put that through. I'm not putting that through. At the end of the day, if you want to put it through, you can put it through, but your accountant will probably put in writing to you with a letter or an email saying that they advise you not to put it through. So that's what I've been led to believe. But if you can justify it to the tax office, if they ever query it with you, then that's absolutely fine. And I'm going to give you a little story now. I've got a pony at the moment that I loan that's at mine. I've had her with me a long time, and obviously you probably appreciate I lost Bolero, the last one of mine. I was going to send Silver back, but I've been toying with the idea whether I send her back or not. And I'll tell you for why I'm going to keep her, I think, is because I have lots of kids come down and ride her from time to time. And while the kids are riding, the parents are talking to me about Juice Plus. So in actual fact, I think now I could even put my pony through as a bit of an expense, because I'm using that as a way to ask to get people to come in. Now, I'm sure that if I put that through with the tax office, with an accountant, the accountant would say, you must be joking, you can't put that through. But if I could justify it, like I am to you, then I think I could put it through. And at the end of the day, the tax office don't check everything. They just want to know the end results, the end figures. And they might do spot checks now and again on people, but if you can justify it and you've still got all the receipts, then, you should be absolutely fine. So I think that's just about it. Any more questions? What's Lindsay saying? Is Lindsay going to do everyone's count? You're going to do all our accounts, are you, Lindsay? Wow, brilliant. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. I think we'll all love that. So pretty much, I think if there's no more questions, I think what I've covered is really quite simple. Hope that helps. Hope that gives you confidence to speak to potentials and explain to them that they don't need to declare all of this to the social, because all the social will do is stop them from having income, and as long as you've got some sensible receipts, then you'd be absolutely fine. Keep all your receipts, everything that you do, and if you feel you can justify that against your business, then do it. As far as I'm concerned, do it. I think that's it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Trying to keep it short and sweet today. And if there's no more questions, we'll all catch up another time. Catch you later. Bye.